Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations, where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. Today for Saturday, let's take a look at the lesson that's assigned for evening prayer because it's from the Deuterocanonical books. It's from the Apocrypha. These are the books of the Bible that are one of the books of the Bible that has been taken out by those reformers who claim that we should only have the Bible as our standard for faith. It's interesting, but the Deuterocanonical books, basically written between the period of the Old Testament and the New Testament, were included in the canon of the Scriptures from the very earliest time throughout all of the Christian Church, and reaffirmed at the Reformation by the Roman Catholic, the Orthodox, and what became the Church of England, and by extension our Anglican Communion as well. However, other groups decided that they would just edit the Bible and take out these particular books. So the book of Maccabees is a wonderful book. So there's several of them. And it's the story of the people of Israel who are oppressed by the Greek rule, and they are being forced to not be Jewish, not keep the Jewish custom, not to keep the law. And so the Maccabees are about the revolt. And it's important to recognize the book of Maccabees, if only for the reason that it's how we get the story of Hanukkah. That's from this book of Maccabees. So let's start right at the beginning. It's assigned today, 1 Maccabees 1, beginning at verse number 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And his servant bare rule every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves, and so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied upon the earth. And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, named Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days there went out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with them, with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we've had much sorrow. And so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people that were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. So it's interesting. It was a place of exercise, right? They called it gymnasium, which had a much more effect. This isn't just Planet Fitness, but it was also a place of some sexual licentiousness in addition to that. But anyway, so here we have a group of people, and we see this in the history of the people, the original covenant, that kind of are going up and down in the keeping of the covenant. In this case, they make an absolute agreement with the Greeks, these leaders, that they should just go ahead and submit to the Greek customs because it'll just make life easier. And so, as we'll see as the book of Maccabees goes on further and further, they acquiesce. As the more power the Greeks get over them, the more demands they put upon them. And so then, of course, a faithful remnant will rise up and will fight against it. And that, of course, is what the story of Maccabees is about, the Maccabee brothers. Anyway, so please, and unfortunately, the lectionary kind of cherry picks parts of the story to kind of hurry it along because we don't have time to spend on all of the book of Maccabees, but I do recommend that you spend some time reading all of the book of Maccabees. It's really quite enlightening. So today is Saturday. We're preparing for worship tomorrow at St. John's. No public worship today, but tomorrow we have our 7:30 morning prayer, 8 o'clock Holy Communion, 10 o'clock Holy Communion. I'll be there for those services. There'll be no 5:30 service once again. Last week we won't have it because the St. Michael's Conference for Youth begins on Sunday afternoon, and I need to be there. So we will just have our morning services on Sunday. So I hope to see you in church, and may your Saturday be full of blessings.